I was wondering if you would be willing to help me, and we could get this sponsor to help push this through the creating an adventuring company.
Who's the sponsor?
The sponsor doesn't wish to be named at this time, but he is a member of the Residents of Good Standing.
How much is he? Is he willing to? What's his role as sponsor? What does that mean?
What does he want from us?
All sponsors are it essentially turns your group from being a public group that has to release all adventuring records through City Hall, and you just have to report to this one member.
Oh, they want to see our tax returns?
It's like a.
Yep.
It's like a when a public company goes private, someone's trying to buy us out.
Yep.
I didn't know we had such a reputation.
Well, this sponsor heard of your guys' work at the Timber Fort and was most impressed.
I'm gonna shoot the group a look like I was at the Timber Fort for like 2 hours. What did you guys do?
You had to be there.
In addition to helping me and my sponsor friend, we might not have a whole lot of money, but we are great craftsmen, and we are able to enchant items. And then after she says that, she pulls out like kind of a little small, fancy-looking treasure chest. It's about the size of like, I'd say it's like 6 inches square, and she sets it on the table.
I grab it.
Damn. I swipe where it was.
All right, I open that shit up.
It's too heavy for you to pick up at this time.
I'm so strong.
Like mystically heavy.
Yeah.
Well, Spoon's gonna see Ool struggle with that, and I want to actually I want to see if I can, just based on her interactions with it, if I know anything about why she can't lift this box.
Okay. Make a Arcana check.
Okay.
Yeah. So she sees you eyeing it up, and she says, and sees Ool kind of swipe for it and be like, "Don't worry, it's bound to me at this time, but I'll release it when if you guys decide to give us all a hand."
I'm
and
gonna
she kind
say
of grabs it and puts it back in the bag.
we're more of a payment up front type organization. Do you have anything you can give us as a sign of goodwill? How do you know?
She says, I've been an enchantress for a few years, and I'd be willing to maybe perform a few enchantments to help you guys along the way.
What kind of enchantments are we talking?
What do you want?
I don't know. You're the enchantress.
She says, I can give you a enchantment. You have a staff, right?
I have a rod.
She says, I can give you an enchantment on that rod that'll make it more potent in battle.
What? Potent how? I don't like people fucking with my rod.
When you cast spells, it will, upon your point of your choosing, when you cast one spell, it'll call the might of Gond down upon your enemy.
Oh man, I'm against that Gond, so that doesn't really speak to me.
I thought Gond was your god.
No, Talos is Spoon's
Talos.
God. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
A thunder god.
It can be Talos then. I thought Gond was your boy.
Okay. Yeah, do that. Do that, and then I'm gonna gesture at the rest of the table. And what do you got for them?
Vincent looks greedily at this person. What's her name again? Did she ever introduce herself?
Yeah. She said her name's Galena.
Oh, Galena. What's in it for me?
What's in it for you? Well, I do know somebody that owns you.
I own me.
I also own.
And then she like kind of winks at you like, and then she says, "I've seen this charter, and I know you don't own you. Perhaps I could
I own a lot of me.
giving you back a fifth of yourself."
Spoon's gonna say you own some of you.
Mm.
I wouldn't call it a lot.
What about me?
I do like a fifth of me.
What do I get out of this sweet deal? Make my book.
The answer to your
She's
puzzle.
gonna pull out of her bag. She's got a sack of coins, and she says, "You guys want money, huh?"
Yeah, I can do with some money.
Money is always appreciated by the
Truly,
pending adventuring company.
I mean, Spoon's gonna say. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of upfront costs. I assume we're responsible for our own transportation and food, and we're gonna need a per diem.
We'll be able to hire transportation for you.
Okay.
What's the leader think,
Yeah.
boss?
Yeah, no, BB, he wants to smash dudes, so
He's all about that adventure.
yeah.
Okay. Spoon wants that enchantment up front though.
She's gonna take out like a little scroll. She has a like kind of tube that has some papers in it on her hip,
Okay.
and she pulls out her scroll, and she kind of reads it to the group, and it hits kind of a little magical light comes down and blesses the staff.
So, but in terms of not to table talk, but what is this going to do for my staff? Just so I can note it on my character sheet.
So basically, when you do a roll, it'll be like any attack roll. It would be like having your own. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? Inspiration, but you can't hand it off.
Oh, I can re-roll it.
Yep, just any one roll you want to roll.
Oh, gotcha. Like, it's like a one-time thing?
Yep.
Okay.
So basically, the idea is like you can do the cast, and if your rod fails you, Talos will finish the job.
Okay.
Is it now like the enchanted rod of holy smiting? Or anything cool like that?
Until it isn't.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else want any goodies before we go?
Give me a couple gold coins, lady.
She'll give you a couple gold coins, and then she's like, "Oh, and I heard you like these too," and she hands you a few rusty washers.
Hell yeah. Oh, I haven't had any of these for ages.
6 of them, to be precise.
6 rusty washers. I hope they turn into drugs at some point.
It's been known to happen.
Is pretty excited to hear that you guys are willing to accept her quest and help her out. And she motions to the 2 bards over in the corner. They're playing music on that little shitty stage in the potato bar.
Yep.
And kind of everyone around the dance floor kind of starts to pay a lot more attention. And you guys have been here a lot, but there's kind of a bigger crowd than normal. And she kind of gives them a signal, and all of a sudden everyone kind of becomes entranced by their music, and they move out to the dance floor in front of the hearth there. They all start dancing, and the bartender and the waitress there are kind of handing out drinks faster than they can fill them up. And even though like all this commotion is happening kind of at the table, it gets a lot more quiet, and you guys kind of get the feeling that you have some privacy. Kind of begins to explain what you guys are going to be doing. So she says,
I don't think you guys were affected by it.
Oh,
They're dancing.
she basically just asked these dudes to BB goes dancing. Yeah, she just kind of had these guys play a little ditty so that she could chat with you guys. Clearly, she knows them. She says, "My fellow forest gnomes and I have been engaged in a generations-long feud with our fellow kin, the rock gnomes. Long ago, the two groups are separated. My parents chose to live in harmony with the land, and we worship all that Selune provided. We took care of the forest and all those who lived in it. However, those damn Rockies chose to believe that the forests and mountains were a gift from God, gone to do what they saw fit. For many years, we were able to avoid conflict, but eventually they ransacked our home at Starigrad and began demolishing the forest and hollowing them out. And these gnomes aren't like their parents. They worship a version of God, none like I have ever heard. They will push anyone who is caught for the pettiest of crime into slavery and not think twice about it. They slander the artificers of the old God for not monetizing their work. And for many years, we've been trying to regain control of our home, but we've never succeeded. We hope that we'll be able to, that you guys will help us be able to gain advantage at our next attempt at recapturing our home." And then she reaches to her tube she has on the side of her hip, and she places a map across the table. You guys should be seeing a map soon.
Ooh.
Nice.
What's this baller?
Oh, Fedorov drew this map.
So, so she says, "As you guys are well aware, the Timber Fort has recently been sold to the Starigrad Acquisitions and Logistics Company. The company themselves has become a large trade network that spans farther than I care to find out. But unfortunately for us, if you travel the road there and go through the fort, you'll be subjected to search and documentation. If you mention your intent to travel to Starigrad, they'll send word to the city guard and you'll be escorted about throughout the city." So she says, "My plan is to have you guys hire a carriage and take this path through the forest." And she kind of motions to this dotted line that's haphazardly drawn across the map. And she says, "Once you get there, you'll have to find a way to get into the city unnoticed. And once you get to the city hall, if you enter the basement and perform a ritual to Selune," and then she pulls another scroll out of her tube and sets it down across. She sets it across the table. "If you perform this ritual to Selune, we'll be able to have eyes and ears on their city hall." And then after she says all that, she says, "I suggest you guys make your plan here while you still have the privacy provided by Caesar and Loeb over there." And then those two kind of tip their hat at her.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
What type of ritual are we talking?
So it's a ritual to the god that the forest gnomes worship called Selune. She's the goddess of the moon and the stars, and kind of all things natural. It's kind of written in a very ancient script, and there's a kind of it's kind of like a spiral, and in the middle there's a kind of symbol that looks like just a crescent moon, and it has a kind of a cloud in the background.
Spoon wants to know what happens if we're caught doing this ritual.
If you're caught doing the ritual, you'll surely be sold into slavery.
Okay.
All right.
However, there are a great deal of tunnels underneath the city, and this used to be our home. The city hall that was built is built upon our old cathedral to Selune, and that's why we'll be able to listen to them. And you'll be able to get out the same way, possibly undetected.
So we're not going to have to blend in with the locals?
You could if you want.
Is Starigrad? Is it unusual for